nobody pays attention to you guys, and you like that, right? I mean, the goal is you just do business and you try to avoid global catastrophe. Let's look back. How was 2019?
So 2019 was more a normal year in terms of natural catastrophes.
Boring.
I wouldn't call it boring. We had, in 17, we had the biggest ever NatCat year. Then 18 was the fourth biggest year ever recorded. And don't forget, it's our business, right?
Yeah, no, this is important.
Our goal in the world is to make the world more resilient and to pay these people that had some losses.
But is it changing the way that you have to price risks such as bushfires, but also, catastrophes like floods?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's less scientific consensus around hurricanes, but there is around these so-called secondary perils like bushfires, floods, droughts. It's pretty clear, and there's a consensus around it, that climate change is affecting it and making it more costly. So, yeah, insuring these risks is becoming more expensive.
Just so you're aware, Francine called me a secondary peril yesterday. That was at one
First peril, actually, but we tone it down when we're alive.
There's 60,000-foot chat here on climate change. We're all observing the realities. Again, I was with John Kerry this morning, quite eloquent with Bank of America, about the Arctic, the Antarctic. You're not insuring the Antarctic. How does climate change affect the future premium of businesses in New York, in Melbourne, Australia, James Gorman's Melbourne, Australia, and other places? Do premiums go up now to pay for climate change later?
So climate change is a trend, and we don't insure trends. We insure volatility around the trend. Because it's yearly renewable premiums we get from insurers, so we have a chance to adopt it. But people shouldn't see climate change as a risk. It's a certainty. It's something that is happening. And so we were going to see increase in premiums everywhere, more or less everywhere, all the areas affected by climate change, which is probably most areas. It's very hard to predict now in 20 years how this will be and how climate change will affect the micro region, but it's pretty clear it will affect everyone.
What are your long-term plans in China?
So China, you might not know that, but reinsurance is actually free to enter China. So we are in a free market in reinsurance. We're the number 2 player, the number 1 foreign player in China. It's one of our most important markets. We know it for decades. We have been there for decades. And supporting the big clients, the smaller clients. So for us, it's just a very important market, probably the most important high-growth market we have.
When you look at the virus outbreak in China, which everyone's talking about, which we've also covered quite extensively because it's having an impact on markets, how will that impact you? How do you assess risk? How do you assess such a risk that could be so huge or actually quite contained?
Yeah, so overall, pandemics can be very big risks, right? 1918, we had a big Spanish flu, which was devastating. We haven't seen anything like that since then. We had many outbreaks like that. We don't have more information than the WHO right now, right? But when you have an outbreak, the key parameters are incubation time. If it's long, that's not good because people travel around. The question of how easy it is to transmit from human to human is essential. We don't have much data there. And then how lethal is it? And we don't have much data there because you know how many people got to hospital and died, but you don't know all the people that were infected and didn't die. So over the next days and weeks, these parameters will clarify, and that will determine whether it's easier to contain or not.